Continuing our reading of John Calvin's Institutes of the Christian Religion, here in the Prefatory Address. But return, sire, be not moved by the absurd insinuations with which our adversaries are striving to frighten you into the belief that nothing else is wished and aimed at by this new gospel, for so they term it, than opportunity for sedition and impunity for all kinds of vice. Our God is not the author of division, but of peace, and the Son of God, who came to destroy the works of the devil, is not the minister of sin. We, too, are undeservedly charged with desires of a kind for which we have never given even the smallest suspicion. We, forsooth, meditate the subversion of kingdoms. We, whose voice was never heard in faction, and whose life, while passed under you, is known to have been always quiet and simple. Even now, when exiled from our home, we nevertheless cease not to pray for all prosperity to your person and your kingdom. We, forsooth, are aiming after an unchecked indulgence in vice, in whose manners, though there is much to be blamed, there is nothing which deserves such an imputation. Nor, thank God, have we profited so little in the gospel that our life may not be to these slanderers an example of chastity, kindness, pity, temperance, patience, moderation, or any other virtue. It is plain, indeed, that we fear God sincerely and worship him in truth, since, whether by life or by death, we desire his name to be hallowed, and hatred herself has been forced to bear testimony to the innocence and civil integrity of some of our people on whom death was inflicted for the very thing which deserved the highest praise. But if any, under pretext of the gospel, excite tumults, none such have as yet been detected in your realm. If any use the liberty of the grace of God as a cloak for licentiousness, I know of numbers who do. There are laws and legal punishments by which they may be punished up to the measure of their deserts only. In the meantime, let not the gospel of God be evil spoken of because of the iniquities of evil men. Sire, that you may not lend too credulous an ear to the accusations of our enemies, their virulent injustice has been set before you at sufficient length. I fear even more than sufficient, since this preface has grown almost to the bulk of a full apology. My object, however, was not to frame a defense, but only with a view to the hearing of our cause, to mollify your mind, now indeed turn away and estranged from us, I add, even inflamed against us, but whose goodwill we are confident we should regain. Would you but once, with calmness and composure, read this our confession, which we desire your majesty to accept instead of a defense. But if the whispers of the malevolent so possess your ear that the accused are to have no opportunity of pleading their cause, if those vindictive furies, with your connivance, are always to rage with bonds, scourgings, tortures, maimings, and burnings, we indeed, like a sheep doomed to slaughter, shall be reduced to every extremity. Yet so that in our patience we will possess our souls and wait for the strong hand of the Lord, which doubtless will appear in its own time and show itself armed, both to rescue the poor from affliction and also to take vengeance on the despisers who are now exulting so securely. Most illustrious King, may the Lord, the King of kings, establish your throne in righteousness and your scepter in equity. Basel, the 1st of August, 1536.